back to Belonging Songs, your weekly podcast that brings you a brand new original song each week, then talks about the theme of that song and the processes that went into writing and recording it. I'm your host, Wade Dana. With me, as always, Bradley J. Maurer.
Hello.
Patrick Crane.
It's just a love song.
Just a love song. Patrick, you want to throw out what video BSers can look at to
we'll
know
have
what we're talking about?
We'll have to put a link to it, but there's a Three Dog Night video, live video.
It's Old Fashioned Love Song is the song.
Yeah,
And
it looks like you could just be getting some live footage, but goddamn, is there gold in there?
Let me find the exact one so we don't leave the listeners on the hook.
So while you're doing that, we'll just explain that there's a background singer on stage who is clearly having a real good time.
A couple of things are happening. He's either extremely on the drugs,
or he's trying to quit the band.
Or he is trying to get fired from the band.
Yeah.
It was like a last-ditch, fuck this shit.
And it's really good.
Search for old-fashioned love song, parentheses, 1975.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to take a minute. Like, you're going to start watching it and be like, I don't get it. Why is this funny?
It plays out exactly like a Will Ferrell sketch.
Yeah,
only it is real.
Basically, like when he gets real close to the guy with the cowbell.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's
and then it just turns into just shit
real
show.
Life.
Yes.
We were sitting around, sort of wrapping up a night. I think we were all tired. We'd been recording an episode and hanging out, and I was just like, "Hey, watch this video." And the look on these two guys' faces of, why are you showing us a Three Dog Night video?
Yeah, man,
and
it's
the
cool.
payoff is great.
Oh yeah, it's cool, man. We've heard this song.
Turned out good.
Just a love song.
Just a love song.
So yeah, check that out. In the meantime, we're going to be listening to some songs today. This is a little different episode than what we're normally used to doing here on the show. And it's because writing new songs every week takes a lot of work and it's hard.
It's because these songs are good and they need to be heard, and we're gonna talk about them.
So we're gonna listen to a handful of songs from my first album, which is titled Better This Way.
I thought we were doing mine.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Because you meant they were good.
Fucking around. Cut that out.
I recorded this album in 2008, and this was my first foray into solo artistry and writing songs of my own. Before that, I'd only been in bands, and at one point I was like practicing 5 nights a week with 3 different bands, and all that kind of came to an end at the same time, or got real scaled down, and I started doing these recordings on my own. So this would have been my first attempt at doing that, and I set out to write an hour-long album, which I did. Don't worry, we're not listening to an hour's worth of music right now. I ended up cutting that down to about 45 minutes. I originally released this album under the title of Few Words, but then once I learned how to actually mix music, because when I recorded this stuff, I didn't know anything really about that, I went back, mixed the songs, cut the fat from the album. So there's a handful of songs that have never been mixed that maybe we'll visit as a cutting room floor episode or something. I'd like to pull those out and give them a mix and just see how they could turn out now. But today, we are going to just listen to a few tracks and kind of discuss them a bit. Now, we already have listened to the first track off this album in our covers episode, which was episode 18. That song was Fired Up. Brad ended up covering it for that. So if you didn't catch that episode, check it out, because I'm not going to replay that song here because we've already visited it. And there's a funny note on that song. It's a horrible, horrible first track to an album because it's super weird and off-putting. And what's even worse is when I originally put that album together, the second track was a song called Little Girl, which, Brad, you're familiar with. And it's also a horrible track for the beginning to draw somebody in. And when I was doing this, I was like, well, this was my mindset. If somebody gets through these 2 songs, they deserve the rest of the album.
Right. It was
so dumb.
It was all Wade was always about like challenging you to like me.
Right.
Not realizing like they gotta, you gotta dangle a hook with a worm on it, not just a hook.
So
yeah, it's that strung out friend.
There's probably
that comes around. You give him another chance.
Right.
There's probably countless numbers of people out there who would have tried to listen to this album and were like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not going to like it. Oh, wait. I'll skip the first one. Maybe that's an oddball. Oh, okay.
Second
that's what we're doing.
So
and I'm out.
What's now the second track on the album is called Wake Up. And this really should have been the first track, but whatever. And
I would agree with that.
We're listening to that right now. So this is the track called Wake Up from my 2008 album, Better This Way.
Stop turning, I left them behind. They turn to dust. There's nothing to drive me now. My soul's are worn out. I think I'm lost. Down, waves will wash me down. Sleep, don't breathe. Scenes fade like oil painting, left out in the sun. Wake up, I know it's sad. Form this sand with your hands. It's yours to tell, you know how to measure time, and it's worth to your while.
All right. We're going to kind of go rapid fire on these. We won't spend a ton of time talking about them, but any thoughts you guys want to get out would be great.
I think it's hilarious. Why wouldn't this be the first track? It's thematically appropriate. Mm-hmm. The way the song comes in sounds like the start of an album.
Or a morning. Or
it's
anything,
right? Short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's short. It's perfect for first track.
Yeah. No, we're going to make them earn it.
Yeah. What a dick. Huh?
You know what we'll do? We'll finish with Wake Up.
Right. I've always loved the last line to this song. The time and it's worth to your while. Just the way that sentence is arranged has always appealed to me.
It's always a big theme in my, especially early writing.
Yeah.
You know.
This is something you do a lot that I really appreciate about your songwriting. I like that the music is almost chaotic, and the vocals are so melodic over that. It's a really good effect. Yeah, I like this track a lot too.
I think it might suffer a little bit from ambiguity in some of the lyrics where I probably wrote things and then was like, oh, that sounds great, and then ascribed the meaning to it rather than giving thought to what they mean ahead of time. Yeah. I think that was something my writing suffered from early on.
Have you remixed this?
Not since I put it out. Yeah. It's been years.
The mix is a little thin. I'd love to see it.
I think all of these are going to sound less good than the stuff we do now.
I think it deserves a remix because I think it's so interesting with what's going on in the background that I'd love to hear it.
I definitely don't want to remix
Wade and I have discussed this.
I could George Lucas these.
Well, you could do it forever.
Yeah.
You know, like he had this thing, and this. I think you need to mark the place.
I've done it twice. So the first time I quote unquote mixed it, which just meant pan jobs and levels. I didn't know how to use any tools like EQ or compression or anything like that. So and painstakingly did that over the course of months, and it didn't turn out great because I didn't know what I was doing. And then years later went back and did these mixes painstakingly. I was just learning how to mix, and this was like taking it out to the truck a million times. I mean, it probably took me months, if not a year, to go through all this, and it still doesn't sound great, but it's
Well, we'll
just
just
like
cut
a
this out of the
snapshot
podcast.
in time. I agree with you. Like, these could all benefit from better mixes, but at some point,
Let a sleeping dog lie.
right.
Yeah.
And maybe we could pick one or two that we thought would be fun to do for the show.
That sounds like it would be torture for you, so let's not. Next track.
I'd rather concentrate on other stuff and move on from these. I've worked on these for so long.
I mean, I think everybody agrees, though, Patrick. Like, yeah, they probably all would benefit from a remix, but I think there needs to be
definitive.
something that lets you realize that they're not present.
Yeah.
Brad, I'm trying to fill time here.
Okay, well,
Can you help me out?
let's fill time with the next song, which is the title track off the revamped album called Better This Way.
I love this song.
Life keeps talking shit and you keep playing. Roll down that window, man, and hear the breeze singing. It's oh so cool. You got a lot to lose by having everything easy. Breaking their backs and their hands are bleeding, but you're okay. You got a lot to lose by having everything easy. What is it like to be wrong even though you know you're right? Did you ever know hard times make better ones seem alright? Keep getting those oysters handed to you. The world's inside, shrug it off. Tomorrow it'll still be there. You got a lot to lose by having everything easy. Digging the dirt and crack their nails, but you're okay. You got a lot to lose by having everything easy. What is it like to have the whole world come down on you? Did you ever know sometimes there's no damn thing you can do? And what is it like to be wrong even though you know you're right? Did you ever know hard times make better ones seem alright? Being here with you makes me wanna take my own life. Being here with you makes me wanna take my own life. But that's okay, that's okay. I like it better this way. Now I don't have to remember your face anymore. Keep driving on cruise control, make it last in the slow lane. Don't you worry, there's no hurry, 'cause everything is a-okay. You got a lot to lose by having everything easy. Dragging the knuckles in the earth, you're walking tall every day. You got a lot to lose by having everything easy. What is it like to make your own dreams come true? What is it like to wish that you were better than you were? What is it like to be wrong even though you know you're right? Did you ever know hard times make better ones seem alright? Being here with you makes me wanna take my own life. Being here with you makes me wanna take my own life. But that's okay, that's okay. I like it better this way. Now I don't have to remember your face anymore. Being here with you makes me wanna take my own life. Being here with you makes me wanna take my own life. more.
Okay, there's that song. Probably a little too long. If I were to write this now, it probably would be a little shorter. Any thoughts on that?
Have you thought about remixing this one?
Yes.
I've always liked this song. What always got me mostly on it was the lyrics. I just like I like the story it tells, where it takes you, how it makes you feel.
We used to play this live.
Well, we played it a lot. I loved playing the bass on it. I played the bass on this song, not on the recording, but when we played it live.
Another goal for this project when I was doing it was to get my friends to play on it. And Brad, you're on some of the tracks on here. You mentioned the bass. That's my friend Cynthia. She played the bass on this track. And I think the previous track, some of the best pop sensibility as far as writing and bass grooves and just musicality.
Stay tuned
super
for
great.
the upcoming track. It'll be in the next episode. More. It's one of the best bass lines she's written, I think.
I think I did that one.
Oh, fuck her then, I guess. Damn it.
Yeah, this is evocative. The music's evocative of like a school dance. Just that bass and chorusy, clean guitar, and then the lyrics come in with "being with you."
That's a Wade move, right?
That's a Wade.
He likes to do that.
The Wade.
But I think it is definitely like 1955 Back to the Future.
So we did a like song deconstruction in a class when I was going to Berkeley, and I played this song, and no one was amused.
Could you deconstruct it to nothing?
No, they were
Start
like,
over.
wait, so like because you don't like somebody, the person in the song is going to kill themselves? I'm like, yeah. They're like, we do not know.
Like, no,
nobody was entertained.
You're
at
not. You're
all.
not killing yourself. It just makes you want
to.
Yeah, I mean, try to tell me there's not a situation you've been in where you weren't like, man, I wish I was.
Why am I getting all these crisis center pop-ups?
So of course I got a kick out of that. Another technical note on this. That's Chad 2 playing on the drums.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an old shitty garage sale Yamaha keyboard that I still have here that I made our friend Real Chad play the cymbals and other shit too.
Right.
Which I'm sure he really enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're using
no.
this. But you play everything but the kick and snare. And so that was just a fun little note on that. And Chad 2 is what we would use when Real Chad couldn't show up to practice.
Right.
We would play to just the cheesy beats in my music room, especially Brad's songs, because they're all 120, like to a straight beat, so it worked out perfect.
Pretty simple.
We actually used him on stage one time.
We had a book gig, a gig booked, and we didn't have a drummer. We didn't have a drummer
that
for
day.
it. So
Emergency.
Yeah.
And we went and played at a bar, and we used a keyboard as our drummer.
yeah, and we actually got people liked that show somehow.
Or wait, did Chris play that? Or no, we used the keyboard.
There was a couple Chad situations, but Chris played one of them, and we used Chad too
Just
on one of them.
straight up
Yep.
old keyboard going.
Like, well, here we go.
Terminator 12.
Yeah,
the Chads.
didn't get signed that night somehow.
Nope. Anyway, all right, moving along. What's next? Oh,
Here's another one we played that night, and this is the song that actually got reviewed well because by people they thought this was fun.
Watering
we played
Hole,
it live.
the next one.
We never played this song live called Watering Hole
Once.
and we did once.
the Blind Pig,
Yes.
where we took my organ, this
right.
huge
We didn't
like
have a drummer that night.
right. So
Yes.
we used the organ and a bunch of. We got creative. We had a week to prepare. And
Yep.
we actually got a call back from the venue wanting us to play again.
Yep. And this is I think it was this song went really well. It was really fun to play.
Yeah, that was a fun show because we were forced to innovate,
Get nuts.
and
yeah.
just do a bunch.
We
of different
literally
stuff.
wheeled in like this. Don't ever move like a church organ to a gig.
We did.
Like it was this big ass.
I mean, that thing's probably 200 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Like,
we contemplated leaving it there.
yeah, we rolled in, and the sound guy is like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, well, we got this organ, bro. It's our
Yeah,
sound.
It's totally cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a drummer also on a track, I think.
Yeah, that was a fun show. So that was our second show, I
Yeah.
think, ever.
Yeah.
As the Skeleton Luns.
Yep.
We had to go sans drummer, and it was interesting. So
Did you
there
say
was-
skeleton
Yeah.
lungs?
yeah.
A lot of people used to come to those shows because
Yeah.
it was a thing to do, So there's a lot of people there. It's fun.
This track.
How many women threw panties on stage?
Oh, at least
all of them.
Baker's dozen.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, well, I mean, the chicks that come to our shows, Patrick, don't wear any.
Well, that was before Instagram, so they didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't
to
know.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay, this track is
short answer is 0.
yeah.
Okay.
This track is called Water and Hole.
Like, here it go.
Went down to the swamp today, try to catch me some fat frog legs. But the frogs, they were not jumping. I'll go hungry if I don't get something. So I went to the creek today, try to hook me a fresh fillet. But the fish, they were not biting. Stomachs are growling, but the bobber ain't biting. So I went to the river dam, try to trap me a flat-tailed ham. But the beavers must have been sleeping. Wife's gonna kill me if I don't bring the eatin'. So I went to the watering hole to try forget about it. Ma said, son, your paw is a croaking. Said, really, Ma, I didn't know he'd spoken. Heading toward the light down the final road. Sure hope he didn't forget his fishing pole. So I went to the watering hole to try forget about it. Hey, darling, I'm going out hunting. Try to shoot us a buck or something. But I guess the deer ain't running. If I were here, we'd surely get something. So I went out pushing in the field, try to knock me down an omelet, make a meal. Guess the birds flew south for the winter, cause all I got was a little bit thinner. So I went to the watering hole to try forget about Wife said, honey, your ma ain't breathing. Pack a bag, but she must have been leaving. Follow Pa to the resting home. Sure nice to know we won't be there all alone. So I went to the watering hole to try forget about it. Trails in the woods, buck-tooth, hop-a-stew, kinda caught my mood. But there were no rabbits to be found. Sure wish I had a trusty hollin' tracking hound. So I went to the watering hole to try forget about it. Wife passed away just the other day. Wind must have up and swept her right away. Hope it blew her straight up to heaven, and she arrived just as supper was beginning. So I went to the watering hole to try forget about it. Lonely and tired, think I'll sit and let my life retire. When I'm gone, I'll head up to my family. Ma and the wife should be getting dinner ready. Then we'll go to the watering hole, have a drink and remember it all.
Yep.
Just a little, hometown ditty.
Love that song. Who played on this one? I remember your dad played the banjo.
My dad played the banjo. Chad played the drums. You can hear the captain, our friend Jeff, in the background doing some background vocals.
Yep.
And I got our friend Matt's wife, Joyce, to say the word beavers. So you can, if you listen in the mix, you'll hear her say beavers. And I borrowed a washboard from my friend Chris Tile. And the guitar is a little acoustic guitar of one of my friends, Daryl, which I still have here. I borrowed it to do that.
It was one of those things where, like,
15 years ago.
Didn't you have, like, on the back of that, you had wrote the tuning?
The tuning, yeah.
Because you just picked it up and...
Yeah. So whatever it was is how I wrote the song, and then I ended up just writing it on the guitar.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback. I like how the song builds, and I wish I would have built it more. And I still always hear background vocals towards the end that are like...
Yeah.
I do like that it's the typical bluegrass just telling you what I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in fact, it reminds me of like a relative whose story goes on a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's a rambler.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of lyrics, and that one was fun to write. Always got a good reaction out of that one, just because it's just fun.
There's nothing deep there.
Right.
It's just fun.
Just looking for food and doing some drinks.
Yep. It's pretty much what they do in Fowler.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like our hometown, right? All right. Should we do another one? Keep going here?
Well, we're doing this live, so let the audience call in. They say
let's see.
Yes.
Yeah. We're getting some calls? Okay. Like the chat. Oh, there's no one for a yes.
Let's grab one more.
Okay. So the next track off here brings it down a little.
Oh.
Hey, man, that's a bring down. This one's called Background.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going. Ooh, it's
This
a long
one could be on
It's a long
97.2. The Stride.
I've been around for a while now, and I've been confused, and I've been torn apart. But I'm okay now. Yeah, I'm okay now. How about you? I hope you're alright. I hope you're alright now. Because it's no fun to be all alone with nothing. Nothing to do. Background, kicking you out. I don't trust you anymore. Back down. Don't open your mouth, it ain't attractive for you. No, 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 no. And who did you think you were anyway? So don't uncover your skin. Your cards don't have the strength to play a win. And here I am again, and here I am again, So don't uncover your skin. Your cards don't have the strength to play a win. Here I am again,
It's a good stride track. This is actually, I think, one of the stronger examples of writing on this album. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Comment.
I love this song. This song puts me in a really, really, really just distant place. I love it. It's very meditative. Listening to your songwriting now, I think there's some elements of this song that wouldn't necessarily make it into one of your the Wade modern era songs. I think there's some there's a little modulated vocal part that's a little out of place, but I've always loved this song. This is probably one of your songs that I've listened to the most just because I love how atmospheric it is.
Yeah. So that modulation thing you're speaking to, you can hear me just experimenting with. So the only things I had would have been the built-in effects that came in Pro Tools. And a lot of all these effects are me just playing around and trying to figure out what they do and really experimenting and pushing things like those really pitch shift high vocals, just pushing shit to the limits to see what it does. So that
and you can tell that it's playful in that regard. I think some of it, like I said, now that you're experienced, I'm not sure they would have necessarily stayed in there.
Right.
It even has some stuff that I see you doing now, like that pause about a third of the way through the song. It's really startling, but it fits really well.
Yeah, and you can hear a car driving by my house and a train in the background. That's just shit that was happening because I had the microphone turned way up. Another note on this whole album is I pretty much recorded most of the tracks late at night. So a lot of stuff direct, a lot of very quiet things, but with the gain cranked so I could be quiet because there was other people in the house. Friend Cynthia also played the synth on this, which I think are great. And she did that just come in and sit down, not ever hearing it. Just I think I'm hearing something, and does that. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yep.
This is a track I want me to take out of an album. You just leave feeling like you've just exercised. You built up the energy, and then it's just that nice letdown.
Yep, I like it too. In that regard, it's a hammock song.
Yep.
You're just laying around and thinking about things, and you hear the noises that you would hear when your eyes are closed.
And I did try to give a lot of thought. One thing I think that's pretty strong on this whole album is the mastering arrangement. I gave a lot of thought to where the tracks are, what precedes and follows each track.
Yeah.
And I think it's laid out well in that regard. We won't get the full scope in this episode because we're not going to listen to all of them together. But
to that note, though, where this goes next.
Yeah, I say we do that.
I think we have to. We were going to do one more, but I think you have to hear those back to back to appreciate what you just said.
Yeah.
I also think what's interesting listening to Wake Up versus this song is, while Wake Up I thought sounded a little thin, this is mixed really fully. This is a lot more balanced mix. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot more robust.
Yeah, I think it was hit or miss back then.
Depending on what was in the track. It's also got a lot simpler stuff going on.
Like this, I wouldn't recommend any mixing changes.
No, it's perfect.
I really like the mix.
Nice pan jobs, too, on it, by the way.
Thanks.
Pretty good pan jobs.
Yeah, especially at the end.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this next track, I will just let you garner the title
just play it
from its lyrics. Yeah, so this one will take us out of here.
I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. Come on. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. Dead, 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 dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. Dead, 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 dead. I hate my life and I wish I was dead. Dead, 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 dead.
So that song is called Having Good Times on the Porch.
I love the part where it
what it was.
says, "I hate my life and I wish I were."
Yeah.
You know how many times people have come up to me and been like, man, what? I get that stuck in my head all the time and it's not cool. Right. That was the point.
I used to get it stuck in my head like every time I would be like at work doing something that was extremely uncomfortable.
Yep.
Like, oh, I hate my life.
It's perfect for that. Right?
Because it's something you say in jest. And I remember like the origin of this song was Wade just saying like, I've got this idea where I want to write a song that's about something really terrible, but I want to sing it really happy. Uh-huh. And he nailed it.
So I should speak to the fact that we had a even more hyped up version of this that was very happy and poppy that we played live, and it was always a hit. And speaking to the past track too, Background, that was a really fun track to play live. Because we got very dynamic with it. There were spots where it was very quiet, and then we would make it very big, and I think it was a really great live track.
A lot of those. Chad was a really good driver of things like that when we were playing.
So this track,
Chad
Hate
won.
My Life, and I Wish I Was Dead. Chad's playing the drums. Brad, you're doing some background vocals in there. I kind of coaxed a few people into that.
Yep.
You can hear a friend Jeff, the captain, a friend Todd Bays. And,
Asa in there?
Huh?
Is this one? It was Asa on that one?
I might have had him do
There's a
something
couple
like that.
people. It was pretty good size.
Pretty much
for a while.
anybody who
Spread them
came
anyway.
over, I'd be like, I need some people to sing this at the end. So, yeah, that's that track, and that is gonna be it for today on this album. I don't want to make this 3-hour episode. There are like 8 tracks remaining. Maybe we'll split those into 2 more episodes in the future. And we're doing this when we need to sprinkle in some content because we're working on new songs, but we need some.
These ones still exist.
Yeah,
These
and-
are
and-
uncertain times.
And most of you
they're worth
BSers
hearing.
have not heard them.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you want a CD, send us a message. Go to our website, belongingsongs.com, fill out the forms page.
Not that there's a lot, that haven't been sold. Millions. One copy has been sold.
Well, that's your album. None of these have been
but
sold.
these, we'll see if we can't, maybe get some more printed.
Yeah. So send us a message. We could send you stuff. BS@belongingsongs.com. Please leave us a review if you like the show. If you listen in Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. If you listen in Overcast, hit the little star to make sure that Overcast knows that you're listening and that you like it so that they can recommend us to other people. That would really, really help. We're begging at this point. It's been a really long time.
Even if you hate us, give us a 1-star. It'll give us something to read.
No, we're not begging. I mean, you do you. Just come on.
Right. And thank you to everybody who has already done so. We really appreciate it. This podcast is produced by Satellite Chicken Sound Lab. And that's me. And if you or anyone you know needs help producing a podcast, go to satellitechicken.com. Check us out on Instagram. We'll put pictures of like the album art from this up there. And I'll even put the album art of the previous iteration of this album up there. And that's another thing I have a bunch of copies of laying around. A shittier version of that whole album. So if you want one of those two to compare the two, we could you can hook you up. So
Safe to
as
say,
always,
Wade was not. He was quick to pull the trigger when he got shit quote unquote done.
We thought it was done. We didn't know it sucked. But no, it's like
That's
a snapshot, like we said. We were proud of it then. Just because we think it wasn't as good as it could be now doesn't mean that it took away from what we thought of it then. So
If your best days are behind you, there's something wrong.
right, there you go. Thank you so much for
Shit.
listening. We will see you here again next week.
If I could go back to 5th grade Patrick, that's where I want to be.
That's good. Boom, done. Next.